How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to focus on the Europa League because there were defeats for West Ham and there was an absolute humiliation for Liverpool.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So, of course, it's Friday and there's been some European games this week. And I'll tell you something, there's been some very good European games this week. The Champions League lived up to its billing. All four games were so good. If you're a neutral, you absolutely loved it. And to be honest, even if you was supporting one of the clubs involved, you probably enjoyed it as well because it was just such good entertainment. You had the 2-2 between Arsenal and Bayern. You had the 3-3 versus Man City and Real Madrid. You had Atletico winning 2-1 against Dortmund. And you had a 3-2 win for Barcelona against PSG. Some entertaining games, loads of goals. And it lived up to the billing. When we looked at the quarter-final ties, you was kind of like, there should be some real tasty games in here. But sometimes that doesn't always work. Sometimes you end up getting boring games from those big ones. But we didn't with any of these. Really, really good games all round. And it's all in the balance for the second legs, to be quite honest. I don't think anybody's a favourite, to be honest. They're all going to be some very, very interesting ties next week. Now, yesterday we had Europa League action and the toughest tie of the round probably have to go to West Ham at Leverkusen, the champions elect. It's only a matter of time as to when they win the Bundesliga. I think it's one more win they need. What's that? 41 games undefeated before last night. West Ham went there with a game plan which was to sit and defend. And if they get out of there with a 0-0 to go back to London next week, that's exactly what they would have took. That wasn't a low block. That was a goal line block. That was just ridiculous what West Ham did and how they set up. No Jared Bowen. They tried a couple of moments on the counter. Kudus had a very tame shot straight at the keeper. But they never really threatened. And, Paqueta picks up a yellow card and I believe he's suspended for the second leg. And if there's no Bowen as well, then, well, yeah, it's difficult enough anyway if they went back with a 0-0. But at this level, you can defend so well for 80 odd minutes and one little slip, one moment, and you get caught out. And that is how ruthless it is. And yeah, 83rd minute, they go and concede that first goal. And then in injury time, they concede a second. And I think that is the tie done. Because West Ham will not be able to defend in the way that they did in this game. They will have to attack. They will have to take chances. And if they do that against a team like Leverkusen, it could be a very long night. And the scoreline could be a big one. That's how ruthless, the team they're playing is going to be and can be. It was always going to be a tall order for West Ham. But I think I'm pretty confident in saying that that's them done for the competition. I think that's over with. I can't see them turning it around. They would need a lot of luck. They would need possibly a sending off early in the game, something. And if they haven't got the likes of Paqueta and Jared Bowen, then, yeah, it's going to be even more difficult, isn't it? So, yeah, it's been a good competition for West Ham, but I feel that this is the end of the road for them. Next up, we have Liverpool. And that was an absolute humiliation for Liverpool, losing 3-0 at home to Atalanta. What a performance from them. Shamaka, talking about West Ham, former player. Scores a couple of goals. His second goal was superb, by the way. That could have very easily been, skied over the bar. First goal, mistake by the goalkeeper. Third goal, mistake by Virgil van Dijk in the centre of the park. And Liverpool were just completely toothless. They were absolutely pathetic. And when I looked at the team lineup before the game, I thought to myself, you know what, 5 changes, that's a bit risky. And it kind of showed me that Jurgen Klopp is really prioritising probably the Premier League. Now, I understand at the moment there's a lot of tired legs. Liverpool got tired legs. Arsenal have. Man City have. But the difficulty for Arsenal and Man City is that we're playing Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. So we can't rest anyone. You've got to go really, full strength pretty much. But with Liverpool, they kind of looked at this and probably took their eye off it a little bit and thought, you know what, this is a game we can make some changes in. We're at Anfield. They're 6th in Serie A. They're not having the greatest of form at the moment. Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. And then they go more stronger in the Premier League games. They got it wrong. And you got to wonder what, knock-on effect this could have moving into the Premier League. It's just so poor from Liverpool. They had a chance early on with Darwin Núñez, and it was a pathetic miss. And Liverpool fans, if you look online, have had enough of him and his misses and whatnot. And yeah, it's just not great, is it? It's just constant misses, and poor ones too. But yeah, look, if there's a team that can turn it round, then it is Liverpool, because they've done it before. But I can't see them doing it. If they were going back to Anfield, then possibly, but they're not. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. And this could well be Jurgen Klopp's last European game at Anfield. And they've produced an absolute horror show, absolute embarrassment. And I think even the most, ardent of Liverpool fans will have to admit that that was absolutely pathetic. It was toothless, and it was just so poor. And it was embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. It's as simple as that, really. That was embarrassing for Liverpool. And I feel that they are out, barring a miracle. But we'll wait and see what happens. Also going to speak about the Europa Conference game, because Aston Villa were involved. And I was keeping an eye on this because obviously Arsenal were playing Aston Villa on Sunday. And I was quite shocked that Unai Emery went, with a full strength side for this game. And I know he wants to win Aston Villa their first trophy in a very long time. And his, CV in Europe is immense. But I'm still shocked with what he went with. And, they went into an early lead. Ollie Watkins scores. And then Lille should have scored a couple of goals. Emi Martinez made some good saves. Villa go 2-0 up. Lille score, gets disallowed. And you're thinking, my word, Aston Villa are riding their luck tonight. And then Lille do go and score. And that scoreline of 2-1 kind of, puts Unai Emery in a bit of a difficult position. Because what does he do with the game against Arsenal on Sunday? Does he make changes with Thursday in mind? Because if they would have won this game 2-0 or walked away with it, then I feel that Thursday would have been back of the mind and kind of played and changed his team more for that one. And gone really for the game on Sunday against Arsenal. But with it in the balance in the way that it is, does he kind of make the changes on Sunday? And then kind of go full tilt at the game, next week? It's a difficult one. It's going to be an interesting one. Aston Villa are already without Douglas Luiz for the game against Arsenal on Sunday because of suspension. So, yeah, it's just going to be a very, very, very interesting one. And listen, Unai Emery is not scared to make some changes that will leave you scratching your head. Let's put it that way. I've seen it before. When we're chasing down the Champions League for Arsenal and we played a game and he's sitting there putting Cole Jenkinson in the team and that. And you're like, what on earth is going on here? So I wouldn't put it past him, Villa fans, that's for sure. So it'd be an interesting one to say the least. That's for, a definite. So look, listen, there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. Plenty of action in midweek in Europe. Some really, really good games. Loads of goals. Champions League lived up to the hype, and the Europa League wasn't as great as, some make it out to be, but it is what it is. We return back to Premier League action this weekend. Some big, big games. Watch out for the match preview of the Arsenal-Aston Villa game, and then, of course, the match reaction and everything else. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.